Hey, welcome back to Let's Fix It. If you like this channel, if you're finding these projects useful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. The project I've got today is for this little concession stand out here at our city park. It has a walk-in door in the back, and we're having a problem with driving rain pushing water through the back of the door. And the solution to that is going to be to install a storm door, but there's a couple things we got to consider first. One is the direction of the wind. As I mentioned earlier, the wind blows against the back of this shed and pushes water through the door. So when you're hanging a storm door, one of the considerations we need to make is which direction you want the door to open. Storm doors can be hinged on the left or the right, and they work equally well either way. But the consideration on this one here is the wind is out of the southwest, which would be the left side of this door. So we're going to put the hinge on the left side. This way, the wind will help to close the door. If the hinge were on the right side when they opened it, the wind would pull the door open and potentially damage it. So let's get on with this project. When you're getting a storm door, one of the first things you want to do is make sure of the width of your door. This is a 36-inch door. It's actually 35 inches from inside to inside, but the door overlaps by a ½ inch. If you measure out here, that's 36. Also, most storm doors come in 80, 81 inches tall. This door is an 80. Which means our 36-inch Larson by 80-81 should fit this opening just fine. When you're opening the boxes, do not use a knife. It's real easy to cut these doors. You've got a screen placed inside the box. It's real easy to cut the screen up. All right, all screen doors are going to come with some directions. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, flat screwdriver, a pair of pliers, a drill, and some drill bits. All right, when you're starting out with a screen door, I like to start out with the top piece, and we're going to make an assumption that this door is in here square. If it's not square, that's going to be a problem. So you want to get your top piece centered up. I'm only going to put one screw in it. Get the sides lined up. We're going to find out real quick that there's one tool that Larson didn't tell you you're going to need. That's going to be 10 snips, because this piece here is a little bit too long, and we're going to have to cut it down. Let's see if I got a pencil in this truck. There we go. I've got a pencil, but it's not sharpened. We'll sharpen it real quick. Damn wind.
How you doing?
All right. How's the fishing?
It's a little slow. We need some rain.
Do we? You found any mushrooms yet?
No, I was over at Chickaboo. They were finding some small ones in the grass.
Really?
There's lots of small white bass and some big ones in the creek.
Oh, good.
They'll be good for about the next month.
Will they? I'm going to take it. You two have a great weekend. All right, see how this looks. There we go. All right, so we've made a mark here where the top of the threshold is, and we need to cut into here. You can do this with a hacksaw, but typically this aluminum is thin enough that a pair of snips will handle it. Make sure your door jamb is in snug. You don't want a lot of play behind the hinges. We'll make the same adjustment over here. All right, now it's time to get the door out. All right, so Larson puts these keyholes in the hinge side. This is going to help you if you don't have anybody to help you hold this door up. What we're going to do is we're going to put a screw right here. And then when we get this hinge mounted onto the door, you'll be able to slip the screw head right through this hole and pop it over here into the lock. So we've marked out the holes. I've put the screws in here. You want to leave the screws loose. You need to be able to get this door hinge off. We'll come back, take these two screws off that we put in previously, and take this off the door jamb. All right, Larson has put a screw right here to get you lined up and started. Take that out, put it in your screw bin for later on. As you start to put this hinge on, you'll want to take note of the interior of the door. This lip, the seal, needs to go to the interior. All right, don't over tighten the screws. You do not want to strip them out. The core of this door is most likely particle board, and they will strip out. So we're going to go down here. I'm going to pre-drill a couple holes. And all I'm doing is drilling through the aluminum. I'm not drilling into the wood. So you'll feel this as you're going down here. You're pre-drilling a hole. You'll feel it drop through the aluminum. You don't need to go into the wood. And one other thing to take note of is make sure your hinges are on top, because once this is all snugged up, it's hard to get one hinge back on top without taking it all apart. All right, hinges on, we're ready to hang the door up there. All right, what we've got here is, as we're closing the door, she's kicking out. We don't want it to kick out. What's happening is the door's dragging on the jamb right here. And the reason is I'm not all the way up to the top. So we're going to have to take this apart. Take that bottom off of there. This is where it really helps to have a second person. I'm gonna have to lift this door by myself and get that up snug in that corner. All right, so you see me looking at the door like something's a little bit off. And there is something just a little bit off. Looking at the hinge side, we've got a pretty nice, even, steady gap all the way down. We like that. Looking at the top, we've got a pretty nice, even, steady gap across the top. We like that. Looking at the latch side, the gap down here gets a little bit wider. That's not a problem. We'll pull these screws out and make a little adjustment to make that gap nice and even. The problem is in the threshold. Over here we've got fairly good clearance, but not enough to get the threshold seal on. Over here, the door's hitting against the threshold. If you can see that. That's a little bit of a problem. It's not devastating, but it's a problem. What it means is that we're going to take the door back off, and we're going to make a mark right here and trim about a ½ an inch off the bottom of this door so to clear that threshold. Now, I don't believe Larson made a door that's out of square. These are really good doors. It's probably a time for me to tell you, Larson's not sponsoring this video. The steps I'm using to put this door in are loosely based on what I feel works best for me, not exactly what Larson says to do. At any rate, Larson's a good door. This is a portable shed, and I believe that this door jamb, this threshold, is just a little bit high on this side. And it's not a problem to come back and take about a ½ inch off that door. There's a threshold seal that needs to go up in here. That seal's about 2 inches deep, so I've got plenty of room to trim that door. What you want to do is get a circle saw, get a real nice straight line, a sharp blade, and cut slow. All right, so we've trimmed the bottom off of this, a somewhat ugly cut. There again, the importance of a sharp saw blade cannot be overstated. However, the end result is what we wanted. We'll put the threshold cap on and nobody be any the wiser. As for the gap on the latch side, let's get a screw in up top. Pull this screw here. Pull this one down here. Let's find a gap that we like. Pull this over a little bit. We'll push this one just a little bit. In the Larson door, there is a seal that needs to be installed in this. All right, that's a little bit of a trick to get in. You know, a little lubrication, Vaseline, something like that might help that. We're going to trim that off a little long, because over the years, this will shrink up. It's rubber. All right, now Larson does give you a template here for putting the door handle on, and it's real important that you follow that template and poke those holes exactly where they need to be. It's calling for 5/16 holes, and I'm gonna go ahead and drill these in really small holes first, maybe 1/8 inch or smaller, just to kind of get a pinpoint on the center, and then I'll go back and drill the 5/16 holes. So the first thing it calls for is to fold this paper on the line, and we're going to put it right on the edge of the door. You'll see when maybe you'll see. Let me see if I can get a close up. You'll see when I start to drill, the drill wants to jump in, and it leaves these holes, or these wings out here. A drill bit is pretty much a threaded device, so it wants to thread through anything soft. So on the handle, you've got a push bar It needs to go into this push button. That's going to go up against the door. That's what returns your button. But on the inside, you've got the release. And if the holes are right, that should thread right in. Alright, so that works. Now we've got a lock mechanism on here. Now on the lock mechanism, there's a bar that goes through in the flat. Okay. It's apparent that I forgot the screws. If the bar's indexed right, the keys should work as well. Yep, there we are. Now we're ready to put the receiving latches on the jamb. Okay, Larson gives you a pile of shims and 4 screws. They give you 2 plates. And the thing that's important is these plates have different angles to them. This one's a 90 and this is a 45. The 45-degree plate is going to go on your latch. 90-degree plate is going to go on your deadbolt. Now it looks like we don't need any of the shims. That lines up really nice just the way it is. So what we'll do is we'll just start the screws. I noticed in the last video that bit was wallering a little bit. And it's in the chuck just a little bit crooked. Straighten that out real quick. Make sure that's straight. Now, I may have got by this real fast, you might not have noticed it. I pushed this all the way up to get the screws in line. And when we close this, I'll let that come down to adjust for the snugness of the door, how snug the door fits to the jamb. If you go backwards, you may have to remake your holes. You want to leave yourself adjustment. That's what I was doing. All right, so there we are. This one here also is not going to need any shims. All right, right there. So again, I'm gonna start my screws down here low. And that way, if I need to adjust it, I can bring it in. All right, that was quick and simple. Man, you just can't ask for better than quick and simple. I have two things left to put on this door: the closer and the chain. I'm gonna tell you, between the closer and the chain is by far the most important. I can't tell you how many screen doors I've seen get sprung because the closer is tighter than the chain is. The chain is there to protect the closer. All right, we're going to start with the jam bracketry. And the jam bracketry goes flat side away from the door. Just like that. And you want to drill some pilot holes. These two back screws are the hardest ones to get in. Now my preference is always for power tools, but because the chuck on the drill won't clear this piece here, I will put them in by hand. Now the chuck will clear the front two holes, so we're going to go back to power. All right, on the closer, there's a stopper. There's a stopper right there. If anybody's ever had a storm door, if you ever use this, it just holds the door open. But you want to give it just a little bit. You always want tension to be on the door. Oh, got it. All right. One other thing I'll tell you about this is you always want this end just a little bit high, because if this is low, this will rattle down and get in the way. So you always want that just a little bit high. We're going to do a little starter hole again. All right, when you're tightening these down, again, the inside of this door is particle board. Don't over tighten the screws. All right, we can live with that. Now this kit did not come with a chain. I can't tell you how disappointed I am with that. So I bought a chain. We're going to put a chain on it anyhow. All right, there again with the pencil. We're going to double the chain over, put it up here, and see where we want to start. Then we're going to open the door all the way up to its extreme. Oh. I want to see. No. Oh. So we're going to come out. We're going to come out here further. As you'll recall, I said I want the chain to go tight before the door gets to its limits. Now this piece here, we can see that the chain needs to pull against that. If you put it on this way, it's just going to bend it. It'll bend it and pull your screws out. Now you may wonder what I'm doing. So I'm going to tell you. I had my hand on the outside of this and I can feel these longer screws poking through. That's not good. I really don't like the smaller screws in the door, but I don't seem to have an option at this point. We're going with the shorter screws because the other screws would come through the door. And that's not going to look pretty. Anything nowadays. All right. Well, they like that. Aside from putting the glass back in it, we've got one other detail. If this chain is hanging in your vision when you walk in and out, you're very likely to get your hair hung up on it. People aren't real big fan of that. So there's a little spring on here. We can get that on there. Come on. There we go. All right. It comes with a nail. All we want to do is pull it just tight enough to get it up out of your vision. That's it. No more. There we are. Now every time the door closes, it resets, it stays out of your vision. Let's put the screens and the glass back in it. Well, if you've enjoyed watching this, appreciate you following the channel, telling your friends about it. Click the like button, that sort of thing. And we'll keep coming up with projects. Thanks for watching. Let's fix it.